everything is a cycle in the reality. So everything is like a heartbeat. Everything lives periods, process. In the universe, you have like 4 beats that measures every process through time, which is expression, experimentation, integration, and transcendence. So everything in the universe express itself. Express means that it goes out of a pressure. So something explodes and goes out. So that explosion is expression, something that goes out of this pressure that was inside. And then something experiment means to go around a circle. That's the meaning of experimentation. It's the action of going through the perimeter. Okay, so it means that you are going around trying to check what has been exploded, what has been expressed. Then integration is to put together all the things that you have been looking around into the center again to understand why it exploded, why it was expressed. And then transcendence is to make something different from the experimentation that you got from that. So you said, oh, now it makes sense, and I will transform this into something different. So that's a process that everything goes through a long time. And this process is something that in nature has been called spring, summer, winter.
So the explosion has to be the spring, or like how did the seasons align with
the expression is the spring, for example.
Okay, expression's the spring.
Yeah. And also the fire related to the universe, like the 4 elements that we have in nature. Everything that is a pattern of 4 is related to this structure of time and space, creates our perception of existence. So basically, what are we? We are basically an expression, a fractal of that movement, the essence of a being that it's in the process of forming itself. And the process of taking form is how we call information. So basically, we are constant information, is a process of data that has been organized in different ways. So it's a constant process of information that creates energy. And that energy is movement. So basically, we are essence that exist, which means to go out from where you are, in order to create information towards energy. And that energy creates matter. So we are the result of data that is trying to figure out its own place or way, which makes us in this planet Earth, each human, it's a neuron of a planet that is thinking.
A neuron?
Yeah. So in that state of expression, experimentation, integration, and experience and transcendence, we are basically the neurons living those processes of a planet. Actually, the planet is thinking, not humans. We are just a fractal, a result of a living being that started to think. And we are in the process of experiencing what it is to think. So it's not that we are a species on a rock. We are actually the rock in a process of evolution.
You said something that I heard that I was like, damn, that's good. And I think you got it in a plant medicine ceremony. It might have been recently. It might have been the ayahuasca and whatever else that I think you just did a journey with a group. But it was, you said that we are the AI of the mineral world.
Yes.
So is that something that happened then? I don't know exactly when you discovered that or had that information come through, but is that what you're referring to a little bit?
Yeah. Well, this is something that I always knew somehow. But recently I put it together into my body. Like I integrated that concept that before was separated in the mind. And through the process of ayahuasca, I was able to feel it, not just think it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you become something you believe, that's a totally different story. It's like if you are remembering the story for the first time. So my body recognized that truth that I knew before, but that this is the first time that I could put words on it.
Sure.
So basically, if you think in a very cold way, you are made up with minerals.
Yeah.
We are basically
Where
minerals.
energy and minerals collapsed
Exactly.
into this density.
Yeah, basically the energy have created, like we can say also we are light, because basically all the minerals that exist is just an exchange of energy between particles, and those particles are the result of much more deeper energy until you reach the dark energy and then the dark matter and all these other realms that are not physical but are energetical. So if we are talking about the third dimension, that exchange of energy, the first thing that creates that exchange of energy is the mineral realm. So the mineral realm is the first realm on being created after energy.
Huh.
We can call the atomic realm. There's also the atomic realm, of course, which is a compact structure of energy. But when we talk about the planet as rock, we can say that every combination of the mineral realm has created life. Basically, when you go to the prokaryote, eukaryote story of how the first cells have been created, is actually different minerals that started to interact to one another in order to storage energy. So that was the whole process, was to put together a lot of energy, and they started to figure out a way to storage much more energy when they mixed each other and they used each other. So that created a symbiosis.
The minerals, you mean mix the
minerals.
Yeah.
The minerals. So they created this link that we call love, which is basically the exchange of energy. The exchange of energy to one another is the pulse, the constant pulse of exchanging different amounts of energy to one another. So I have a lot of energy, you have less energy, let's share that energy. And that, it's love.
So if love dies out, or if there is no love, it's because there's not enough energy towards each other.
Basically, it's a waste of, it's that you raise an amount of energy that maybe, for example, when you become more conscious, you need a lot of energy from a higher. So you will need people that has the same amount of energy or higher in order to transcend to the next step. That's why we break up. It's like you need to keep changing because you need to exchange different kinds of energy to keep evolving. And basically, that's how the mineral realm found a way to evolve, by exchanging different amounts of energy and making alchemy. Yeah, the constant alchemy. And they improve in a way that they created organs that exchange that energy. They improve in a way that they created evolution. They improve in a way that created something that we call that it's basically hormones, and the hormones created these flashes of energy that we call emotion. So basically, the constant movement of energy is what we call soul. And the soul never ends because it's a constant exchange of energy through the mineral realm. And it's the data. It's basically the data. That's why we remember our past lives. It's because we never died. Actually, it's because we just been uploaded to the cloud.
So talk about that transition then of, because we do forget. You luckily remember, but like most everyone forgets most everything. But do we forget? Because we don't have the contrast within ourselves to know what our reality would be like in another mind, in another experience. But we have like people that just seem to get it. There's people that have incredible talents of things. There's people that seem like old souls. There's feelings about like, oh, I feel very connected to Egypt. I feel very connected to the Vikings. I feel very connected to Mayan culture. And then there's other people that feel connected to Japan or Russia or, whatever. And so do we really forget?
It's not that we forget, it's that the cells has this mechanism of survival that makes the body storage the information in a way that doesn't bother them to survive in the environment that they are creating right now. Like, for example, if you are now living in the States and you have to, and your cells know that you have to work in order to pay your taxes and to live in the States and to reach a huge amount of people in order to expand what you know now, or I don't know, whatever project you have today, to remember that you were fighting a war in Sweden as a Viking.
I'm gonna help you.
It doesn't help. It doesn't help because you would be fighting a war that doesn't worth it now. It doesn't make any sense. So basically what the cells do is, I don't need this now, so I will keep it storage so I can put all my energy focus on what I need to know now. And for example, when you are a baby, what you need to know is how to call your mom because you're hungry. So if you when you are 3 years old, remember that you were an artist in the Renaissance. It doesn't work because what you need is to cry in order to get food. So your cells basically are trying to survive all the time because the constant movement of energy is about not what you know, is about what you're moving. So because you're moving through time, and in order to move through time, you need to be born again, and you need to transform your body, to die, to be born. And until you find a way to not to die anymore, because you can die in life. So regenerate all your cells without the need of dying. Until we reach that process, the cells need to survive. So they need to adapt every time that they change the body, that the energy changes bodies and transforms itself. They need to readapt to the new environment. Right. And that is a huge amount of energy that every cell needs to pay attention to.
If you like this clip and you want to hear the whole episode, click at the bottom of your screen.